have graduated insanity. Alright, how many people are in the midst of it right now? And how many people are like, you're crazy, I'm not enjoying it? So some of y'all enjoy your job. Me. That's the problem. I'm just kidding. So anyway, it's really amazing to be here. I think, you know, they were like, we want you to go and we want you to show up to these different rooms. And I think I came to see Christine last year, right? Yeah. And so I'm always like, well, what do you want me to say? I'm like, that's all you get, that's all you get. I'm like, do you want me to do power jumps or something? But anyway, so, you know, one of the main things is, you know, I like to talk about through my own, not necessarily struggles, but my own journey through this fitness craziness is just accountability and holding yourself accountable for what you're doing to go out there and help other people do what you do. And I don't know if you can see, like, well, with some of you don't know, how many people have never met me before? Okay, so there's a few of you. I always like to start with the story. When I was in college, Christine was talking about how I started teaching aerobics in college. And the reason why I started teaching aerobics in college is because I was 50 pounds, I was maybe 50 pounds heavier than I am right now. And the only thing I wanted to do is feel good about myself. And every time I talk about this, it's just like so like, it's like pulling something from somewhere, because it's kind of an emotional thing, but it's also a thing that has shaped my life so that I'm here today and I can talk to everybody and you know, and be in people's living rooms killing them right now. But, you know, I was 50 pounds overweight, and I literally was walking out of the bathroom of my dorm room, and I peered over in the mirror, and I was unhappy with what I saw in the mirror. It was like not just like physically looking, but the actual feeling that I got when I looked into the mirror and just being like, this is not what I want myself to be. And the next day, I literally got up at 5 a.m. and I got on the treadmill and I ran for 10 minutes. And then I left the gym. And then I got up the next day. I did that for like 2 weeks straight. And just doing that automatically started changing the way I ate, obviously, because I wanted to lose weight. And then I started hitting the gym. I was like, oh, I can do a couple of dumbbell curls, because I did run track in high school, and so we never really lifted weights. I mean, at that age, at 17, 18, you're just fast. You know, you can eat McDonald's every day and you still have a six-pack. But, you know, and then so I started doing these different things, and then I was in my dorm room. I was a resident proctor. I wasn't an RA. I don't know, you know, the people who sign people in the dorm, and then people make friends with you because they want to sneak people in. I was that guy. I bent the rules a little bit. But, you know, we had these resident programs, and one of the resident programs was, they were like, oh, we're going to do the grind workout by MTV tonight. And I was like, I'm going to go. I'm like, you want to dance? So we up there, we're like kicking it. Boom, I'm like in the room, I'm like getting it. Like, I'm like moving. It probably wasn't those kind of moves back then, but it was something like that. And then this is all throughout my journey of wanting to lose weight. So I changed my major from communications to sports science, and I was like, you know what? I just want to do this. Like, I like the way I feel when I move. I like the way I feel when I was running track. And so, it was amazing. So then I changed my major, and one day in one of my classes, it was a class we had to do like folk dancing. I mean, we had to do like some crazy stuff in college. It was crazy. But, and they were like, the next thing you're going to do next semester is go out and teach a class. And so I was like, what kind of class do I want to teach? I ain't teaching aerobics. I'm not teaching step. I'm gonna do hip hop. I was like, I'm gonna do hip hop. So then I took the grind workout, and then I watched it over and over again, and I went to my first class, and 90 people showed up to my class. So imagine going in a room, and like 90 people, and first of all, only 60 could fit in the room, and there were 30 people outside, and they were mad they couldn't get in. Now, mind you, you're probably like, why did 90 people show up to your class? Well, I was popular, hello. No, I'm serious, y'all laughing, but I'm really serious, I was. No, I really was. I was crazy. Like, I was the kind of person, I went to college, the first year, I like turned into a pro in college. It was the peer referral orientation staff. So all the freshmen that came into school knew who you were. And then we had like 3 parties throughout the 3 days they were there. And you know, I was on the dance floor all night. And then so, you know, right away you become popular when you can pop it a little. So anyway, so 90 people showed up to my class. I ended up having to teach 2 classes at once, and I loved it. And the group exercise coordinator at the gym was like, oh my God, like, you're a natural teacher. But for me, it was just like, I was like in this place, I was in this world of like when I dance, and when I'm like motivating people at the same time, there was this place I was like, oh my God, like I can't believe that you can feel like this. And the reason why I was feeling like that is obviously I was making people happy, but I was also changing the way my outlook on life, and I was becoming a motivator, and I was living in that, and I was giving myself that message, that positive message every day of you can do this, you can go, you can push, you can fight through this challenge of trying to lose 50 pounds. Now mind you, and I'm sure a lot of you in here have dealt with some struggles of like losing weight or trying to get to a certain goal. So for me, it was every number. I remember the numbers of like starting at like almost 230 pounds and then getting to 221. And then like there was 218, and then it was like 211, trying to get under 210 pounds. And then 207, and then 201, and so on and so forth, and going down. And then I remember I choreographed this huge dance show, and it was called the Garden State Dance Festival. I'm from Jersey, what? And I remember I was in the dressing room, and I was, you know, taking off my shirt. You know, dancers, they get undressed in front of anybody, they don't care. And girls, guys, we share a dressing room, it doesn't matter. And I was taking my shirt off, I was in my underwear, and some girl was like, damn, 6-pack. But do you know how that feels to be like, oh my God, like someone, what you laughing at? I was like, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you. And then I'm totally joking. But, you know, so when you walk around, when someone comments on the way you look, it's amazing. So that's like the backstory. So then I graduated college, I worked in pharmaceuticals, I was still teaching, still motivating. And from that point on, I taught everything, from kickboxing to spinning to boot camp to yoga to Pilates, I taught it all. Got to LA, I'm gonna skip that whole part of the story. Anyway, I got to LA, got affiliated with Beachbody, and I remember, like, they were like, oh, we want you to do this program, and I go to the office, and they're like, oh, you know, we're only gonna need you for 5 minutes, we wanna see what you're gonna be like on camera. And in my head, I'm like, do you know who I am? I said that in my head, I didn't say that out loud. So I go into this room, and mind you, 2.5 hours later, like, I've already started creating hip-hop abs. Like, you know, it just kind of flowed right there. Because these, you know, Carl and Lara, I don't know if you know her, and Heather Church, like, they believed in me. And for the last, I would say, that date prior and subtract 6 years, over a 6-year span, or 7-year span, I was living that lifestyle. But the one thing that I remember from them is them saying, you know, this is an infomercial and it can totally bomb, don't quit your day job. You know, I was teaching like 20 classes a week, and I was like a professional dancer, and I was, you know, going out on 10 auditions a week. Mind you, I booked them all. I'm just kidding. Most. And so, I love dancing, if you can't tell. But anyway, so, you know, and then I was like, they were like, this could not work. And I was like, you know what? If I can change one person's life, just one, if I can just just one person gets it and feels it, then my job is done. Like, I'm good. I'm like, all right, whatever. So to come here today, 5 years later, to have been, to be affiliated with all of these other trainers like Shalene and Tony, and meeting Leandro, and like getting to hang out with him in New York City, and meeting all of you, and times however many people are in other rooms here, it is truly spectacular and amazing. It's like the most amazing feeling you could ever have to, and I'm saying this not to say, I don't care if you ever do my program, like, I really don't. I really don't. Like, the fact that you're here, you guys are laughing, I'm really serious. The fact that you're here and you're on a path, and hopefully there's a very small part of that path that wants to pay it forward, because you got here because of some internal motivation. So if you can help put that internal motivation to someone else, and you can change one person's life, like, if that one person called you every day and was like, you changed my life, and you never signed another coach, you never coached anybody else through another program, and that one person said, oh my God, you changed my life, and called you every day, imagine how you would feel. Like, that positive reinforcement that you did something positive. And I know all of you are out and you're doing this every day, and I feel like, I always say that, I like to say that the coaches are an extension of myself, whether you have done my program or not, because I'm affiliated with a company that's out to change people's lives, and that is what so I think that's kind of like, all I have to say. But I truly mean this when I say, I've said this on camera, I've said this to people, I'm not in this company to have the #1 infomercial. I'm not in this company to have everyone in the country do my workout. I'm here because I'd like to see people happy and fit. And I could care less, now, I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna back it up. I could care less if you have a six-pack or not, even though hip hop abs, I said, if you see me on the street, say I got these from you. But, you know what I'm saying? So, whatever. But, I don't care if you do insanity, I really don't. Like, it's, some people might love it, some people might hate it, but just the fact that, we are all in the same fishbowl, trying to get a bigger fishbowl and more water so that more people can jump in. And imagine if you feel good today, if you're living, and when I say living, you can wake up every day extremely happy and you feel good and you can bring more people into your world. Imagine how good you will feel every single day, and how the core of you can be extended so that everyone in the world, maybe not, but a lot of people in the world can feel really happy. It's just an amazing feeling. So, with that said,